Hi everyone, Tony from Hack the Movies here, and today we're talking about Alien Romulus. Did it redeem the Alien franchise? Let's find out today on Hack the Movies. Hello, Prison Mike.
Hello, Tony.
I usually do these reviews with Johanna, the Alien reviews. And people might be wondering, hey, why isn't Johanna in this episode?
Why isn't Johanna in this episode?
Well,
I was wondering the same thing.
Well, you might be guessing something like, oh, Tony, did you take a poorly timed trip when the movie came out and you could only record on the day where she was at a Creed concert? That's probably what you're thinking.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Not true, Prison Mike. The truth is that I felt bad that you weren't part of Boys Month. So I decided to extend it a week just for you, Prison Mike. I said, Johanna, you're out of the Alien Romulus episode. Get out of here. Go to your Creed concert.
Get out of here, woman.
No, for real. She's had a Creed concert right now. It was the only day we could do this.
With arms wide open.
So yeah, Alien Romulus. I'm a little late to the game on this. Again, I could not pick a worse time to go on that trip when a huge installment of a franchise my fans love comes out.
Yeah, but that's okay. You got to be in Buffalo Bill's house.
I did get to be in Buffalo Bill's house. And you know what? I'm going to say it now to make sure I actually do it. I'm sure there's a vlog up on Patreon about it. And you will see it publicly soon. I'll have a shorter version of my tour there.
And nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bill.
I was in Rochester, so they're all Buffalo Bills fans up there.
Yeah.
They love it up there.
Bunch of losers.
Not because they're Bills fans, just because they're in Rochester.
And because they're Bills fans. 0-4 in Super Bowls.
I'm kidding. Rochester's great. There's no losers in there. Name 3 losers in Rochester. Carl from WATP, Vinny from The Creep Off, Kaylee from Once Over Point Kaylee. Anyway, Alien Romulus finally comes out. I've somehow dodged all the spoilers. I can't believe I didn't see one spoiler for this.
I think you were the spoiler, Tony.
I was?
You predicted a couple
yeah,
things.
Okay, so we just watched it. So there was a guy last week who put out a video about how me and Joe predicted something that would happen in this movie. But we didn't really predict it. We're just making jokes, and then the movie did something similar. Although if Fede Alvarez watched my reviews, I hope he would talk about them and tell me he liked them. Would have liked to have been a consultant on the film. You don't have to do a cricket sound. I left the window open. We might hear crickets at some point. So yeah, you only saw the first 4 Alien movies.
Yep.
You didn't even get to see the good version of Alien 3. I haven't shown you that one yet. So you might be wondering, what happened to Alien after Resurrection?
Yes, I was exactly what I was wondering.
Well, I've reviewed all of these, but let me condense this for you. They finally did Alien versus Predator, the big crossover everyone wanted. It wasn't very good, but it made a lot of money. And then they did a sequel to that. It wasn't very good, and it did not make a lot of money. And they still haven't fixed the home video version or the theatrical version. The trailer for that movie, you could see everything. When you try to actually watch that movie, it's so dark you can't tell what's going on.
I feel like that's all the Alien movies. They're so dark.
No, but this was like a problem. This is like something happened in editing and they just haven't changed it. And I guess because the movie was a big bomb, they're like, why bother color correcting it again?
Just let the people use their imagination. This movie's so bad.
Yes. So Alien versus Predator, both franchises die for a few years. Predators comes out, which is a fun little movie. It's kind of more of the same, which we might be saying later on in this review, but different enough. That was fun, but people are like, when is Alien going to come back? And then they did Prometheus. Now, Ridley Scott, the director of the first one, came back because he said he always wanted to know what the thing in the chair was. Do you remember the original Alien? They go into an alien craft and there's like a big thing in a chair.
Yeah.
And it had its chest, implying that an alien killed it and broke out of its chest. Well, he decided to make a movie all about those creatures. He said in commentary tracks, like, oh, they probably made the aliens as weapons, and this was his chance to finally do it. And they had a script, and it was okay. And then I don't know why, and at some point they were like, let's make it less of an Alien prequel. Let's change a bunch of things to the script and get rid of the alien and make it just kind of weird. It's one of the worst theater experiences I ever had.
Sorry to hear that, Tony. It'll be okay, buddy.
The big thing in the chair, guess what? That was a suit. That wasn't its skin. That was a suit. It's actually a big, pale, bald guy.
Like me.
Yeah. Guess what? You're really
But I'm nice and tan right now. So
you're really religious, Prison Mike. Okay. It turns out in the Alien universe, the big, pale, bald guys who wear the weird suits that carry the aliens, they made humans. They're God. And they made us, and then we found them, and then they decided they want to kill us with black goo that makes monsters. But they left a map for us to find them, just so when we find them, they would know it was time to kill us.
Makes sense.
No, it makes no fucking sense. It's really bad. It was a really big letdown. And then I just reviewed this recently as a live episode. They followed it up with Alien Covenant, and Ridley Scott came back, and he didn't learn any lessons. He was like, oh, people were sad the alien wasn't in it. Okay, I'll do that. But the movie was still really bad. It still had weird shit added to it. It's mostly about a robot who's really mad at his creators and wants revenge on his creators. That's what those two movies are really about. And as a Ridley Scott fan, this pisses me off because I'm like, you made a robot movie called Blade Runner. You already did this. Why are you doing this for Alien? Oh my God. Oh my God. So Alien goes away. Disney buys Fox. Things are in development. Prey comes out. They did a Predator prequel called Prey, which was really, really good. And now we found out they're getting two Alien things. We're getting this movie, and later on, we're getting a TV show.
Yes.
I'm not excited for that.
I'm sorry.
So I was like, okay, well, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? And they get Fede Alvarez. So he did the Evil Dead remake, which was really good. Do you remember Don't Breathe? The movie with it's like those guys break into that blind guy's house to steal stuff, and then he starts killing them.
No.
We watched it together. It was good. It was good.
Did?
Yeah. It was pretty cool. So they got him to do this, and I was excited. I'm like, okay, they got a competent director. He didn't direct this next movie, but he produced it. He produced the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Netflix movie. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. So that made me a little worried. And it turns out Ridley Scott is still a producer on this new film. And I was like, well, I hope they don't work any of his weird Prometheus shit into this.
Guess what?
Anyway, Alien Romulus. What were your expectations going in? As someone who's only seen 4 of the movies once.
Well, I wasn't really expecting much, especially on these remakes. You didn't have my hopes up held too high. It was a little better than I thought. I stayed awake the whole time. I had my attention pretty much the whole time. Yeah,
is that a sign of a good movie? I stayed awake.
I stayed awake. If I can stay awake, that's a good sign of a movie. 'Cause I can fall asleep anywhere. And if there's a bad movie on, trust me, I'm watching the back of my eyelids. I'm not watching that movie, Tony.
Yeah. So we already passed the 3 strikes with Alien. Like the last movie I saw with Johanna, I'm just like, well, it's another bad Alien movie. So I went in with 0 expectations for this. However, the reception for this has been pretty good online. A lot of people are like, wow, it's great. It's the best one since the second one. And I'm just like, better than Alien 3. Come on.
Yes.
This channel is the biggest Alien 3 supporter channel. That's how Prison Mike got on the channel.
That's right.
Yeah, so everyone's hyping it up. They're loving it. I'm hearing that there's weird things in the 3rd act, but weird can be good. Yeah, so I didn't know what to think going in, and my opinion of the trailer was, it's going to be like more of the same of things we've seen. Prison Mike, in my lifetime, all the Alien movies I've seen have been bad in theaters. And I kept telling myself, one day I will see a great Alien movie in theaters. That day was not today. Instead, I saw a mediocre Alien movie in theaters. I'm starting to think this tends to happen with these franchises. I think they put out like a bunch of bad entries, and then you get one that's just like okay and gives you familiar things. And because it wasn't as bad as the other ones, people are like,
man, this was great.
Yeah, they're like, this was the best one. I'm like, no, it was just not that great. I mean, it's fine. Relax. They tried that with the last Terminator movie, which was bad. Like all of them, mostly after like the second one, although I kind of like 3. People were like, it's the best one since the second one. It's the best one since the second one. And then I watch it. I'm like, what you mean to say it's the least bad since the second one? But no, this movie is fine.
Fine and fun.
It's fine and fun. I guess we'll go through it a little bit. So it starts with the wreckage of the Nostromo, Ripley's ship, which I didn't think they were going to go there. So this is set between 1 and 2. So Ripley is still out in space, floating. Yeah.
It's lost in sauces. Floating in space.
I will tell you about another alien thing that takes place in between the two of them in a minute. But yeah, so they find the Nostromo. They're going through the wreckage, and then they find what I thought was a meteorite. But then we learn it's the alien that she shot out of the airlock. But it's, how did it get in a rock? Because it was just flying in space.
Yeah.
But now it's in a rock? Yeah, so that like took me off guard because you got to figure out how do they get the alien eggs. If it's set between 1 and 2, I guess not many people know where to find the eggs in that ship. So they came up with, oh, we found the alien floating in space, and I guess maybe that's like a cocoon that he built over him in space.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought it was bizarre. I'm like,
definitely didn't come out as a pretty butterfly though.
No, he's not a pretty butterfly. So yeah, it starts with Weyland Yutani, the evil corporation from the movies, taking that alien. And then we meet our main character. I think her name was Rain.
Yeah.
Played by, and I have to bring this up, what was her name? Kelly Spaney from The Craft Legacy. Remember The Craft from the 90s, the movie about the witches?
I do not.
Well, they did a reboot sequel. And our fan AJ Wizzle keeps sending us copies of the movie for us to review. We haven't gotten around to reviewing it yet. But whenever this girl,
so good,
because this girl was also in Civil War, which I covered a while ago.
I do want to see that one.
Yes, and he made a point to remind me that she was in Craft Legacy, a movie I had not seen yet. So
cute girl.
Yeah, she's very cute. I'm getting it out of the way now because I know when I mention her name, he's already on his keyboard being like, mention Craft Legacy.
He's probably so happy right now. There you go, Mr. Wizzle.
And she's dreaming of sunlight.
Well, yeah, I don't blame her because she's stuck on that planet with zero daylight, and it looks absolutely miserable.
Yeah. So like, if you're a fan, they have. So there are callbacks here that don't bother me. A lot of times with these like reboots and whatnot, they do the whole like, remember this, remember this. This movie does it later on, and it's really annoying. But right now, it's fine. So they have like the big cooling station from Aliens that made the air breathable. And there was like the bar sign from Aliens for a bar, and they have the little dipping bird from the first one. All that stuff is fine. I'm like, all right, that probably would be on multiple planets. That's okay. But yeah, she wants to get off the planet, and she wants to take her brother, who's not her
brother,
who's not a real brother. It's a robot. What did they call his name? Was it Andy?
It's like a brobot.
It's a robot.
I think his name was Andy.
Yeah.
Yes, because he said, Andy, are you okay? And I automatically thought, Andy, are you okay? Are you okay, Andy?
Yeah, so he was left to her by her parents.
Yeah.
And he has 2 programs to do what's best for Rain and tell dad jokes.
And I'm very disappointed in dad jokes. I knew every punchline to all the dad jokes. Like, we could have way better dad jokes that are kind of newer that I don't know the punchlines that can make me laugh. Like, yeah, they really had to step up the dad jokes on that.
You know what's funny? Those are old dad jokes now, and this is the future.
Yeah.
Prison Mike, if you ever have kids, I bet you'll tell some pretty good dad jokes.
Oh, I got a lot of great dad jokes. Do you want to hear one?
Yeah, tell me.
Okay. There's 2 muffins in the oven. Hold up.
I got a great dad joke.
Hold on, dude. All right, hold on.
Okay.
There's 2 talking muffins in the oven. Hold on. Let me get this right.
The confidence you had.
I tell this joke all the time. I can barely get it out ever.
Okay.
And it's so funny.
Okay.
And I haven't told it in a while, so I'm a little rusty.
Okay.
There's 2 muffins in the oven. One muffin says, "Oh my God, it's hot in here." And the other muffin says, "Oh my God, a talking muffin."
If you didn't fumble the setup twice, I probably would.
That's why we edit this, okay?
No, I'm leaving all at it.
No, you're gonna edit it.
Yeah, that joke is whatever. You fumbling it was what made it really
I got another one. I won't fumble.
Okay, go.
What's pink and fluffy?
I don't know.
A pink fluffy. What's blue and fluffy?
I don't know.
A pink fluffy holding his breath. You were supposed to say a blue fluffy, but you didn't. And a blue fluffy? And I said, no, a pink fluffy holding his breath.
Do you have any good knock-knock jokes?
No.
If
I think of one, I'll let you know.
Anyway. What the fuck? So, Andy is a robot, but he hasn't been upgraded in a while. He's kind of falling apart. He's like stuttering. He's like freezing up. There's like something wrong. She has to keep resetting his brain, which...
I mean, that's what I do. Everything that's technology that doesn't work, I just turn it off and then turn it back on again, or unplug it and plug it back in, and it works every time.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can relate that. Yeah. Just turn it off, turn it back on. It works every single time.
Exactly. Even in the future, we're still doing it.
In the future,
we're still doing it in the future. So she wants to take him to another planet, but she's denied because there's a shortage of workers at the mining.
And she has all her work hours in, or
whatever
but they were calculating. Of course, they screwed her.
Yep. They're like, nah, it turns out we don't have enough miners. You can leave in 6 years. She's like, well, fuck that.
With no sunlight, yeah.
Yeah, with no sunlight. What I appreciate off the bat is how the technology looked in the movie. Because something Prometheus and Alien Covenant did that really bothered me. I hate when prequels look more advanced. Like when sci-fi prequels look more advanced than the other movies.
Right.
So like in Alien, they have like, keyboards and these old monitors with the green text and it looks cool.
Yeah.
And then Prometheus, they have like holograms and HD video and
it
touch
doesn't make
screen.
any sense.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is before? I'm like, this doesn't make any goddamn sense. So I appreciate they try to make it look like the actual films. And it looks like enough in between both films. I'm not sure exactly when this takes place in the 57 years, but I don't know. So her friends come up with a plan. They're like, hey, we found out there's a floating space station above us that has cryopods that can keep us suspended in sleep while we make the trip. So they're going to get out of there. They're going to hijack these pods, get in the ship, and just take off to that planet. So she's like unsure about it. And they're like, well, we need Andy because he's a robot who can like hook into the computer and be able to like figure out their stuff. She reluctantly goes along with the plan. Would you do it? Would you want to get off the planet that bad?
Yes. Living in complete darkness every single day. Yeah. I would do everything I can.
Speaking of future stuff, they literally show like miners coming out of a mine and they have a canary. They use canaries in coal mines to detect like carbon monoxide poisoning.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I did know that. I forgot about that. Yeah.
But it's like you could have a detector. They don't have detectors in the future. They're still using. I thought that was a little too old school. I was like, all right, yeah, you're asking for a lot now with the canary in the coal mine. So yeah, they take off. They get up there and they find that station. This is the first time in the Alien movies they've actually done zero gravity, which apparently you were not a fan of.
I was not a fan. The whole gravity scene were cool, but when they spin the camera, nah, I get too dizzy for that.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I famously get very motion sick with stuff, but movies not really. However, there are some movies where like the camera spins too much. Like there was one. I think it was one of the Doctor Strange movies I saw in like 3D. And that was like one of the few times like I got nauseous watching the movie. I'm like, okay, no, I don't like this. I don't like this. It's moving too fluidly. And
I can't even play Call of Duty because like when you turn and stuff, it just makes me so dizzy. And I grew up playing GoldenEye.
Yeah, that stuff's fine. It's VR is what really trips me up. I have to do if the game has to have a teleport feature. So like I just teleport. So I'm not, when you move in VR, I'm just like, bleh. It's bad. So yeah, I do like the zero gravity. I like how it just keeps turning on and off. They find that dead rat that's going up and down. Although that guy was an idiot. Who's the one? All right, so there's a couple different people in this. There's the girl and her brother, her boyfriend maybe.
Boyfriend /
Yes, and then Asian lady who's on all the posters with the face hugger on her. And then hot Latina girl.
Yes.
Who was in Madam Web. And then I think it's her baby daddy, that other dude. I think his name was Bjorn or something.
Yeah, I think it's so.
Douchey guy. They go into the room and they know that the gravity's going to go on and off. And that guy's just floating in the air. It's like, why wouldn't you, as soon as you go to the room, I would go as far down as I possibly can. And then he's like, he acts shocked when he hurts his back. He's like, oh, I'm like, what the fuck did you expect, you idiot? So yeah, the ship is torn apart. They don't know why. They think it's just straight up abandoned. But they enter a like a lab and they find like the big acid stain in the floor. So we know an alien has attacked.
Right.
And that's like the big mystery. Like, hey, what happened here? They find out that the pods aren't set. The pods don't have enough fuel to get them where they gotta go because it's 9 years. I think they said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 9 years.
It was 9 years, and then they decide to get a fuel cell from the cryo place, and then when they get the cryo fuel cell out, face huggers show up. Yeah, I thought this scene was pretty cool. It was interesting. They didn't do eggs. Like the face huggers were being like grown in like weird sacks.
Yeah.
I thought that was bizarre. They did have a lot of practical face huggers. I mean, most of it was CGI, but they actually made some practical face hugger effects, which I thought was cool. They really went all in on practical effects. Yeah, so they take a chip out of a dead robot. They put it in Andy so he can figure out what's going on. They all get attacked by these face huggers. The one girl gets face hugged.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Yeah. This was, so, again, shit we've kind of seen before. But I did like them trying to figure out how to get the face hugger off. And like, hey, if we use this cryo thing, we'll freeze it. Yeah, because they know about the acid at that point. What did you think about the face hugger on the guy and the tube was going in his mouth? I don't think we've ever actually seen the face hugger shove the tube down a guy's mouth before. Nasty. That was gross. How do you feel about face huggers? Do they creep you out?
Yeah, kind of weird.
No.
Yeah, I don't like stuff on my face.
Yeah. Reenact the scene. I forgot I had that there. I'm like, shit, I wanted to throw that. This has been a problem since Alien vs. Predator. So remember like the first movie, it face hugs the guy and he's like out for a while and then it bursts out of him.
Yeah.
Ever since Alien vs. Predator, they've decided like, oh, once you have the face hugger on you, it bursts out of your chest like 10 minutes later. It's like, that's not, guys are messing it up. I don't like that. Fucking Ripley in Alien 3, she had that thing in her for like a week. You know what's worse? Alien Covenant, the face hugger is on the guy for like 10 seconds and then they kill it. And that's enough time to put an alien in you. I don't like when they break the rules. So the pregnant girl and the other guy try to take off in the ship while they're all figuring out the stuff on the station. This part was awesome where she had the x-ray.
Oh, yeah. That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Again,
and it just like she lit it up pretty much, and you could kind of
see. They established it earlier with her playing with her arm.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
But yeah, she throws it on her back, and it looks cool as hell. I would have liked if they lingered on that just a little bit more. But yeah, you see the thing like wiggling inside of her, running around.
That was cool.
So
yeah, you put like a flashlight on your arm or something, or your hand, and you could see like the light through.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, I like that it bursts out of her and it like fucks up the ship. She like kicks like the fucking pedal and it like knocks the ship out of orbit.
Yeah, I was like, what are the chances of that happen? They just kicks the pedal.
And then the girl is grabbing her and it's not like, oh, maybe I should like fix that thing. So the ship is like flying. Oh, so another ticking clock element. The space station has 36 hours. They're on a big planet with like a ring, like Saturn.
Yeah, so that's exactly what reminded me of Saturn.
Yeah, and in 36 hours, it's going to fall into the ring and just be shredded by like all the rocks and ice and stuff that they have there. But then that gets sped up because when her ship is fucking up, they like hit like a fuel line that tilts it. Mm-hmm. So now they have even less time. So the characters are trying to figure out what's going on. And they decide to turn on the robot. And it's Ian Holmes' face.
This is your favorite part.
This movie would not stop bragging about all its practical effects and their old school effects and traditional effects. And then it slaps a cartoon of a dead man's face on something else's body, and it looks fucking terrible. It made me really, I'm really getting mad at Hollywood doing this. And I know the family probably signed off on it. I hope.
Oh, that's what you're getting mad at Hollywood for doing?
Among other things, yeah. No, not that. It's just really annoying. It really bothers me because you didn't have to bring the Kane robot back. Hey, you know who's still alive? Lance
Jackson.
Yeah, what?
Michael Jackson. Tupac. Oh, are you talking about somebody else? Sorry.
Lance Henriksen's still alive. The guy who played Bishop in Aliens. You could just de-age him. He's still alive. I don't know why they felt the need to slap this face on a person's body, and then I assume they used AI to do his voice.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm getting real annoyed at that too. So the whole AI voice thing was developed for people who lost their voice, like famous film critic Roger Ebert. He had like throat cancer or something, and like he lost his ability to speak, but he was a big part of this like program that they did because there was so much recording of his voice over decades. So I remember like in 2008 when he was like still alive, they were showing this like software that they have that can like make new sentences with your actual voice. And it's supposed to be meant for people who lost their voice. Like, did you see the new Top Gun?
No.
Okay, well, Val Kilmer, in real life, you can't use his voice. They used it for that movie so he could talk. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of what it's meant for. But instead, movies are doing this, where we can bring back Ian Holmes' corpse for a cameo in an Alien movie. Or, he's not even dead yet, but Star Wars, they don't even have James Earl Jones record new lines anymore. They have so much audio of his voice, they could just type new lines for him.
Really?
Yeah.
So since they used pretty much his face and voice, they still have to pay his family? Like,
I'm sure they do, yeah. But it just wasn't
technically acting in the movie.
Yeah, it just wasn't needed. I don't think anyone would have cared if he wasn't. It could have just been any robot. As long as you have the white liquid, we know that it's a robot in the Alien universe. I don't know. That took me out of it. That really bothered me.
That really upset you.
I know, because it's just like, come on. We don't have to be that desperate. Come on. The Flash movie did it a lot last year. They had like Christopher Reeve in there. All the other old dead Supermans that they showed, like Adam West for like a second. It's like, oh, come on. Don't do that. It feels disrespectful. You know what one did it the worst? Ghostbusters Afterlife.
How'd they do it?
Remember Ghostbusters? Remember Egon? He was like the nerdy tall one.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he died, obviously. So they brought his character back. They made him a ghost eventually, but not before they turned his character into a deadbeat dad who never raised his daughter. So they ruined his character. And then they have him as like a ghost, but they didn't use his voice. So the other Ghostbusters are talking.
They turned a dead guy into a deadbeat.
Yeah, they turned the dead guy into a dead guy. And the other Ghostbusters are talking to him, and he's just like, and I'm like, oh yeah, because Egon was known for being quiet and not saying. I just hate it. I hate this whole thing. Shout out to
yeah, he's definitely gonna be the death of Tony. I thought it was gonna be the death of America, death of all of us actually. But I think
now
it might
keep in mind, I am a hypocrite. So when I die, feel free to AI me onto the show. Just type in what would Tony have said about this movie.
Yeah.
But like not a good AI. I want like a one where my fingers are all fucked up and my mouth is on the wrong side. God, AI is creepy.
It is very creepy. I'm anti-AI.
I'm starting to notice it more in things.
Yeah.
I'm starting to pick up on it. Yeah.
Like all the supporters at Kamala Harris's rallies, all AI. Long necks, weird fingers.
I think that might have been debunked. I think that was an AI crowd. I just don't think it was meant for her rally or something. I didn't look into it. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe.
We're filming in the past. Maybe something happened in the future and you're accidentally right.
Maybe.
If Kamala wins, you think we'll get this evil corporation that wants to send us into space with aliens?
Yeah, they're called the Democrats.
Prison Mike, how dare
the Democratic Party.
I know she was a cop, Prison Mike, but can you open your mind a little bit? Can you accept her a little bit? I know you felons need to stick together, but come on.
chilling like a felon.
You know, Riley told me when he was in jail, a bunch of the guys in there were all super pro-Trump.
Yeah.
There you go. So yeah, they turn on, his name is Rook in this, but it's basically Ash, the android. And he tells them the whole thing. So apparently the alien that Ripley shot out into space, it can survive in space. It was just, I guess it did make a cocoon and just went into hibernation. It came to life and went around the ship killing everyone. Oh, by the way, the alien has literally been in the ceiling the whole time. No one ever thought to look up.
Yeah.
So apparently it went around the ship just after they siphoned the blood and stuff from, well, not blood, but like whatever. It just killed a bunch of people. And then finally they were able to shoot it enough times. Also, it still has the harpoon in its chest where she shot it. I'm like, all right, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But they fucked up because when they shot it, it like bled down, and I think a bunch of people got like sucked out. And then he was able to like shut some door to stop everyone from getting sucked out. So yeah, but they killed it after they had already made all the face huggers and shit. We don't know why they're growing the aliens. That will be revealed later in a scene that made me very mad. So now they at least know what they're dealing with. They're like, okay, it's an alien. It's got acid blood. What are we going to do? They have to save the pregnant lady and her boyfriend because they're still alive on the ship where the alien has just hatched. This was weird. Because the alien's supposed to shed. We saw in the other movies it like leaves shed its skin, and it did in this. But then it also makes another cocoon.
Yeah.
This movie went all in on cocoons. I don't know why. By the way, this thing was gross. It looked like a big vag. I know, like...
I thought the same thing.
I mean, that is kind of a tribute to the original artist, because all his stuff was kind of sexual. I mean, the alien's head...
It's a big spicy meatball.
H.R. Giger, he loved to put penis and vag in a bunch of his artwork. He was a weird dude. He was on a lot of drugs. I don't know what to tell you, but I mean, he made some good work.
Yeah.
This was all practical, this effect. I saw like they released like behind the scenes footage, and I was an asshole when they showed this. They're like, look at our practical effects. I'm like, can't wait to see it replaced with CGI, because that happens a lot. Movies love pretending that they're all using practical effects and then CGI.
You're just talking about how this guy loved to make everything look like vaginas and penises. And you're telling me I'm looking at this alien head and the top of it from face to back. All I see is a penis.
Yeah.
So yeah, this guy's real spicy meatball.
He was
Can't keep his head out of the gutter.
He was a weird dude. He was a weird dude. Very talented, but very weird dude. Yo, by the way.
It's like, what was it? Super Bad? Was it Super Bad?
Where he's drawing penises.
Yeah, just draws penises, all kinds of penises.
But by the way, a lot of what you see in Alien is his artwork toned down. Like they're like, all right. Like when they in the original Alien, when they're going in the big ship, I don't know if you could tell, but the big holes, they look like giant badges that they're going into. But it's dark enough that you can't really tell right away. Yeah. He liked to mix bones with mechanical stuff and make it all phallic. H.R. Giger, I miss you, buddy. So yeah, this thing is like in the wall. I do like that he has that little taser, the cattle prod thing. And he tries to like kill the alien. He thinks he kills it. This scene was
the one where he electrocutes him.
Yeah.
That was cool. It worked for a minute.
Yeah. So this was an idea. Again, I don't know why they did this, because it didn't really matter in the end. They did this in Alien vs. Predator, where they made a point to injure one of the aliens and give it like a marking. In that one, it was Predators have this net gun that like goes on you and it like cuts you into pieces. So Predator uses on an alien, not realizing it has acid blood, so it gets out and kills him. But they made a point to mark that one, so you know that would be the one, but then it doesn't do anything significant. They do the same in this. They mark this alien with the big cut in its head.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it wasn't super. You had to like really look for it, but then like that alien doesn't. It's just one of the aliens. Like it comes back at the end. And you're supposed to be like, oh no, it's that alien. It's like, okay, what's the difference? I don't know.
Yeah.
It came out of their friend. Who cares? This death scene was awesome with the acid. They tried this in Alien vs. Predator Requiem, where a dude has an alien on top of him and they shoot an alien, the blood like melts his face. not cool. This one, like, the dude is underneath the cocoon. The alien's just bleeding all over, and it's so gross.
I just burn holes in him.
Yeah, it goes. I think his hand is melting. I think it goes through his chest.
It does. That was the last straw.
Yeah, that was so cool.
That was cool.
So yeah, they're now.
But like he never even tried to move. Like at least like it was just hitting him like in areas where he'll be okay, and then just hurry up and move, dude.
Yeah, maybe it's paralyzed. Because remember Alien Resurrection, the alien spit acid in that guy's face, and then he just killed himself for no reason.
Yeah, maybe it does paralyze.
Maybe it paralyzes you. I don't know. So she's stuck there with the alien, who's like still being birthed, coming out of this thing. Meanwhile, her friends have to go get her, and they have to go through a room full of face huggers. And this is a new element. They're like, they are attracted to heat.
Yeah, so they had a...
Yeah, so they're like, let's make the room our temperature so we blend in. I'm like, that's never been a thing in Alien.
Yeah,
no. I thought that's more of a Predator thing, seeing heat.
Yeah.
It is a suspenseful scene, though.
It is. It was a good scene.
Yeah.
Especially towards the end.
Yeah.
When they discovered like they were in there with him.
Yeah, that was cool. Because they were like, okay, we're the same temperature, but if you get stressed or you have goosebumps or something, it's going to know that you're in there. It reminds me of the Quiet Place movies, how they have to be quiet.
Yeah.
Or if you play Resident Evil video games, the lickers in Resident Evil, they attack based off sound. So in those games, you got to like walk around them real quietly.
Yeah.
Yeah, very tense scene. This is like one of the scenes I really liked in the movie. They eventually get to her. She's been hiding from this alien. It's like on top of the grates like the Queen did in the second one. And then something happened to her. I don't know because I went to pee. What happened to her?
She died. Actually, no, she didn't die.
Yeah.
She got totally impaled by, what was it, the tail?
Probably the tail,
of the alien.
Yeah.
Just totally impaled. I thought she died. That's how brutal it was.
Damn.
Yeah.
And I think you said Andy didn't let them save her.
Yeah, they kept saying, Andy, open the door. And they're getting really mad at him. Even, what's her name? Rain.
Rain, yeah.
Rain was getting really mad at him. That guy can just do no wrong in her eyes.
Yeah.
But apparently this time he did wrong. But he's like, I'm like, pretty much trust me. Like, I did it for a reason to save us all.
Mm-hmm. Well, there is a reason why he's doing it. We find out because he wasn't able to bypass one of the programs. So they took a chip out of Rook and put it in his head, but now he's kind of being manipulated by the programming.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's starting to turn on them, but like not willingly, like he's not like doing it on purpose. Yeah, so she got taken and then I came back in. I'm like, oh, I guess she's gone.
Yeah, you went to, I knew you were going to go to the bathroom at the worst time.
I know. And I was literally sat there and I'm like, all right, maybe I can get back in time. But then you had a good plan because then you had to pee right away.
Yes.
And you made me FaceTime.
It's the go-to move.
Thank God there were only 2 other people in the theater and they were like all the way in the back. It actually is a good plan. If I see movies with people in the future, we'd be like, hey, FaceTime. So I'm like holding the phone up at the screen.
You had it on a really bad angle. I can only see the bottom half of the movie. But I could get the gist.
Well, I was watching
and the sound wasn't that great, but I could hear most of it.
Although I did think it was...
And I didn't miss one part of the movie while I went to the bathroom.
By the way, I did think it was funny. Because we did it on like Instagram because I don't have FaceTime.
Oh yeah, you could just see me peeing.
So I'm like looking, and I look down, and I just look at you.
Why were you looking? Just keep the camera faced on the movie.
I wanted to make sure it was like on the screen. I look down, and I just see your face.
Just peeing. I just look like an old dad, like on Facebook. You just see like the side of me.
Yeah,
like, the worst angle ever.
So this is the big reveal of the film. Why did they have it? Why were they experimenting on aliens? I'm cool with experimenting on the aliens. It's been done in the comics a bunch of times. They've done some really cool things in the comics. Like there's a general that tries to train the aliens to be his like soldiers.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, he gets really confident. Why
don't they put in any of the movies?
It would be a really cool movie. He does the whole thing where he's like burning all the aliens in front of the Queen, forcing her to make them subservient to him. And then he gets a little carried away, and on his first mission, they all turn on him. But there's stuff like that. There's like one where they make like a robot alien that can blend in with the hive. They've done really, really clever things. So I'm like, all right, that's kind of what they were doing in Alien Resurrection when they were like cloning them.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, why are they experimenting on them? What's going on here? So I keep wanting to call him Ash because he looks just like Ash, and it's the same guy. Rook is like, Humans aren't really built for space travel. We don't live long enough. Like, we could cryo sleep, but we're never going to get to where we need to unless we advance. Even though you're a fan of the franchise, you know they at least make it 200 years in the future for a resurrection. They're still doing fine back then. So he's like, all right, we started experimenting on the alien because the alien can survive in space and it's like super durable and whatnot. So they did experiments. They like took the aliens and broke them down to their like base element, which means they turned them into the black goo from Prometheus. And then he specifically goes, it's just what our creator Wayland was looking for when he vanished in the Prometheus. And then they played the music from Prometheus and I went, oh, fucking come on. I just want them to ignore those movies. I really, really want them to ignore those movies. I hate it that the thing in the chair just ended up being Space Michael Myers. And I really want to forget that Space Michael Myers is God in the Alien universe. So when this movie tried to connect it to those two films, which not a lot of people like. Some people like Prometheus. No one's really hot on Alien Covenant. But Ridley Scott's a producer on this, so I guess he was like, hey, let's give one fuck you to the fans.
Yeah.
So that's it. They didn't need the Prometheus thing. They could have just said, we're experimenting on aliens, because why not? But it's cool. They show, like, they, like, flatten... I don't think you saw this. They have, like, a mouse in the thing, and they flatten it, and then they pull, like, the weight up, and then it starts to rebuild itself.
No, I didn't see it. I don't remember.
Yeah, so they're showing that they made a bunch of vials of black goo that can, like, evolve humans and get them to where they need to be. But if you've watched the other two films, you know it's very unstable. And actually, as they're leaving that room, they show the rat in the cage that rebuilt itself, but now it's got, like, it's dead, but it's got, like, tentacles. It's like it's clearly grew too much and then just died.
I seen that part.
Okay, that's
the bigger
what you were
part of the
calling
rat. Yeah.
So basically, he's like, hey, look, I need you to get these vials to a Weyland-Yutani station. I will help you survive this. But it's very important that you get this research out here, because that's his programming, is to get the research to where it needs to go. So yeah, they try to get out and they end up in an alien nest and they get attacked by a bunch of aliens. The aliens look great.
Yeah.
This is probably the best they've looked since like 3, to be honest.
They look pretty good.
Yeah, they look like the original Alien design, modified a little bit. But yeah, it never goes... I thought they were really going to go balls to the wall with the action. I'm like, if you have multiple aliens, why not go all guns blazing? But they are in a spaceship, so they can't really go guns blazing. Which is fun.
Space was kind of limited.
Yeah, it's limited, but you got
It always seems so much bigger in the spaceships, and like you see the outside of them. Like, oh, it's pretty big, but like the way they're running around these spaceships, you're like, how big are these things?
They feel
all
pretty big.
Kinds of, like rooms.
Actually,
and floors. Like they had that. You see the spaceship from the outside, and obviously it's big, but then you got this huge elevator in it.
Yeah,
that's covering multiple floors. I'm like, it doesn't seem like that high.
Well, famously, Aliens. Remember that big car that they were in Aliens?
Yeah.
The inside is way bigger than the outside. When you look at it, like even the director, like he's like, oh yeah, if you notice, the inside of this car is gigantic compared to the outside.
Yeah.
It's movie magic. But this looks a lot like the video game Alien Isolation that came out a few years ago. People love this game. I'm not one of them. It was a great looking game. Basically, the story is that you're Ripley's daughter, Amanda Ripley, who joined the company and everything and went out there searching for her mother who was missing. Because you didn't see the extended version of Aliens. I think you just watched the regular cut.
Yeah.
In the extended cut, when she's
I think I watched the extended cut actually.
Did you see when she like finds out about her daughter? They like give her a thing early on.
It sounds familiar, yeah.
Yeah, so the guy gives her things. She's like, "Hey, whatever happened to my daughter?" And he's like, "Oh, I got bad news. She died."
Yeah, I did see that.
Okay, all right, then that was the extended cut. So the video game, you're Amanda Ripley. You find another space station, and they went to the same spaceship and got alien eggs. So Ripley's daughter had to also fight an alien, but like the look of that space station looks a lot like the 70s Alien, but this movie is just taking that. Like, this movie is very inspired by that game and how successful that was.
Did they ever make a movie based on, like, Amanda Ripley? Or,
no.
I guess.
No, honestly, this is the closest you're going to get, basically. in terms of look and everything, because that movie really tried to feel like the 70s Alien, and this one, even though it works in elements from the second one, it's kind of doing the same thing. But I was looking like that hallway that they're in when they go into the nest.
Yeah.
That hallway, that little area looks exactly like one of the hallways from Isolation. That first big room with the zero gravity with the big window, that is like almost exactly like one of the layouts of Isolation. It's a good idea for a game. Like, the game mostly works. The problem is they try to make it like a 10-hour game. So there's lots of door puzzles where it's like you gotta match numbers to open up a door. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, I just want to hide from the alien. And the alien's glitchy. Like, it's based on like your movement and everything, but sometimes like it'll just pop up out of nowhere for no reason. There are 2 good missions. Like, there's like downloadable missions that are just the missions from the movie. Like, I played those instead of the actual game. Also, the game ran out of ideas because it sold you on that you're alone on a ship with one alien. Spoiler. There's like 100 people, like a bunch of robots. And at the end, they went, after you kill the alien, they go, oh, fuck it, there's more aliens. I'm like, well, that kind of defeats the whole selling point of the game.
Why'd they do that?
To make the game longer? I don't know.
But why'd they say like why'd they sell it as you're alone on a ship with an alien?
I guess to feel like the original film, because like it was only a handful of people and one alien in the original film. So it was a cool idea. There's some good moments in that game, but a lot of it is build this thing, collect this part, collect that disc, make the picture look like that picture to open the door, and then you do that for 10 hours. And then sometimes an alien attacks. So yeah, this movie's very, very inspired by that. I wonder if they're gonna like cross over, because spoiler, that movie ends with her crashing a space station into a planet. This movie is very, very derivative of that.
Yeah.
But Amanda Ripley. Oh wait, hold on, Prison Mike, we're getting a call from Johanna. Excuse me, me and Prison Mike are talking about Alien Romulus.
I hear Arms Wide Open in the background.
I really liked the movie. It wasn't absolutely awful. I hated Bjorn. I loved Steph. And also the ride basically felt like a theme park ride. Okay, bye!
I just heard Arms Wide Open.
I heard Arms Wide Open too. So I hope Johanna didn't get us a copyright claim because she called during a very popular song playing. I didn't understand any of what she just said.
All I heard was, I heard the news today. And I just heard
the news today. Seen my life. Oh God. Anyway, what part of the movie are we on? Oh, at the end of that game, Amanda Ripley is just floating in space, and someone comes by and finds her. They should do that. That should be the sequel.
Yeah.
Alien Remus should be the next one. Even though the space station is called Romulus Remus, for some reason they just use Romulus in the title.
I know. Why is that? Because they were what, twin brothers?
Yeah, they were twins. It was like a Roman thing, and I guess there were 2 parts of the station, but yeah, I don't know. That was weird.
Yeah.
I guess they're just the last movie was called so this is the 3rd movie to be named after the spaceship in the film. Because the first one, it was the Prometheus. And then Alien Covenant, the colony vessel, was called the Covenant, and now we have Remus. I guess that's their naming convention going forward. Yeah.
Like, we're running out of names. We're just naming after a ship.
Yeah. It's funny, they only ever used
the other one's definitely going to be named after the twin brother.
What about Alien Prison Mike? Would you like that movie?
I love that movie. I think that would be the best one. I think that would be the one you see in theaters that is amazing. It wouldn't be bad or mediocre.
It would be you on a spaceship.
It would be finally a good alien movie.
You'd be like, hey, it's me.
Seen in theaters.
It's me, Prison Mike from Hack the Movies, and now I'm in an alien movie, and people will be like, wait, what? Is he breaking the fourth wall? What is this?
I think that's a great idea.
So anyway, they need to get out of the ship. That hive scene was pretty cool, where they're all being attacked. They find their friend, who you're right, wasn't dead. Because that happened in Aliens. Like, a bunch of those Marines got attacked, and then they're like, wait a minute, the Marines aren't actually dead. They're, like, being cocooned and being face-hugged. So they save their friend, even though they should know how this is going to play out. Prison Mike, if you see me in a cocooned or in an alien situation and I'm still alive, feel free to just keep moving.
I will. Trust me.
I won't even be mad at you.
No.
I'd be like, nah, keep going.
Oh my gosh, it's a very famous Tony from Hack the Movies. See ya.
I'll be like, I'm a hero. Let everyone know that I am a hero when you get home. I am a hero, Prison Mike. I'm a very compassionate guy. Did you know that? I care about everyone. You know,
especially cats.
Yeah, you know what? I just want to let you know, Prison Mike, that when my cat is sick, this might shock you. I take it to the vet.
Well, thank you for your service.
Yeah.
You are a hero.
Some other people have a sick cat and they get veterinary advice and then they tell people who to vote for on TikTok and then the cat fucking dies. But my cat, when it's sick, I take it to the vet and they make it better. Backstory, famous TikToker blocked me because he clearly let a cat die for clicks, I think. And then he did a response to me telling him that he might have killed his cat, and it was all about how he dresses poorly. And I don't understand. Me and Person Mike watched it.
This had nothing to do with anything.
Literally, my thing was like, why aren't you taking the cat to the vet? Oh my God, you killed the cat. And he's like, I have blue socks and my shoes are bad.
20 years old.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with
Like,
that?
those things probably smell.
There was no cat in this movie.
There's no cat in his YouTube video either. Because he killed it.
Yeah, I'm shocked they didn't work in a cat. Well, it couldn't be Jonesy. Jonesy's with Ripley in the pod, but they could have had a different orange cat.
They could have.
You know what?
Like Garfield.
You know what they should have done? They should have got like a new orange cat, and then
Garfield.
they should have CGI'd the face of the original cat onto the new cat.
That would have been great.
So it would be the same cat. And they're like, oh, that's Jimsy. That's Jonesy's twin brother. But you didn't know that person existed.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm just real tired of it. I'm real tired. Real tired of the constant callbacks. And then they're like, oh, look, we brought back a dead guy. Aren't we cool? It's like, no, it seems kind of morbid, to be honest. The only one I'll be okay with is Stan Lee, the Marvel guy. Because legit, when he was like starting to fail health, they were like, he just shot 6 cameos at once and he let us scan his head for future cameos. So I think he was the most aware and I think he's fine with it.
Yeah.
But there's other ones where it's like, did Ian Holm know about this? Did he sign off on this? Like, I guess his family, but there's some shitty families out there. I don't know.
That would be weird seeing your dead relative just talking and like he's alive, but it's really just their whole face is just AI.
I mean, they used to do it really bad in exploitation films in the 70s. Like, there were a lot of Bruce Lee movies after Bruce Lee died, and they're like, just get a guy who looks like him. We'll say Bruce Lee's back.
I mean, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
It's not, you're just getting somebody that looks like him. I think you just, when you watch it, you're just pretending it's Bruce Lee.
I think the biggest example I could find of them bringing back a dead person, maybe it was that Soprano. I don't even watch The Sopranos, but I know there's an episode where they CGI'd Tony Soprano's mom's head onto an actor because she died in real life. But Superman Returns, they brought back Marlon Brando from the original one. They like CGI'd his head and added like lips and stuff to it. And it's, at the time, I didn't know how to feel about it. But now that I've seen like what they've been doing with it, I'm like, I don't like this. Let's stop this. So yeah, they get to the hive. They get attacked by a bunch of aliens. What you call it? The robot, Andy, like freezes. He gets attacked and he just like freezes.
Yeah.
The other dude just straight up dies. They like kill him. They punch a hole in his head and everything. Which is pretty fucking brutal.
Yeah. They demolish that guy.
And then Rain makes the dumbest decision ever. She gets on the elevator and she's fine. She can get in that ship with the other lady and they can take off. Instead, she's like, I gotta save my robot brother. Like, no, you don't. You can just leave him down there.
Get another one.
Yeah, just get another robot brother.
Get a more updated version one.
Yeah, so she gives them... So Andy was taking the vials because he still got the programming from the other one that he needs to finish this mission. And he's like... So he gave it to them. She's like, all right, don't take these vials. That was the whole thing. They're like, she might die, but if she takes the vial of the black goo, maybe it'll heal her. Not gonna heal her. So she's like, all right, lady, I'm gonna leave you, who's about to die and who's very pregnant, with the black goo. Don't use it. I'm gonna trust you. You won't use it. I'm gonna go save my robot friend. So she sends her up, And sure enough, like 5 minutes later, the girl's like injecting it. She's like, ah.
I mean, she had nothing else to lose.
Yeah.
You might at that point. You might as well just go for it.
I did like that the aliens, because the aliens' relationship with like the robots is always cool because they don't really care about the robots at all, unless they like need to fight them if they're like in their way or anything. But yeah, because it was cool like that. Andy like falls in front of one of the aliens. The alien's just like staring at it like, I can't do anything with this. I can't eat it or use it. I don't care about him.
Yeah, you just lay there.
But yeah, she's able to like set him back to his original programming. And they make it to the end of the hallway. They want to leave, but like, what's his face? Rook won't let them leave. He's like, no, I'm not doing that. You got to get those vials over there. Then all the aliens corner them, and this was awesome. They do it. What was the dad joke about gravity? I forget what they said.
It was a common one. I knew the punchline.
I'm gonna Google it. Dad joke gravity.
Yeah.
She literally.
Why they were waiting, right?
She's literally texted me with arms wide open is about to start, so I'm gonna call then. Hold on. Dad joke about gravity. I gotta find it. Hold on, let me type in alien. I can't find it. So he tells
it?
Huh?
You couldn't find it?
I couldn't find it. So anyway, he tells a dad joke about gravity. Are you gonna look it up?
Yeah, it's driving me nuts.
Alien Romulus dad jokes. I don't know if there's a list of them. So while you're
talking.
While you're researching, he tells the joke, and she's like, "Oh wait, I can turn the gravity off." Somehow the other robot's not able to stop them from doing this. It's able to stop them from doing everything else. But she's like, "Okay, I'm going to turn the gravity on because she has enough bullets to kill them. But if she shoots them, they're literally at the bottom of the ship, so they'll all get sucked out."
Yeah.
So like, how do I get around this? I'll put zero gravity on. I'll shoot them, and the acid should float long enough before it hits the ground. And it's pretty cool. It's like the only real big shooting scene we get in the movie.
Yeah.
If you're going to have an alien movie with guns, go all out with the guns.
I definitely thought like she was going to run out of ammo, and she used it very wisely.
Yeah, she actually did use it pretty sparingly.
I would have used it all up right away.
That was cool, though. She's like cracking their heads open. They're all blowing up.
That was cool.
A lot of it seemed practical. And then this was a really cool tense scene. So now there's just a swirl of acid and zero gravity.
Probably the best scene in the movie.
That was pretty cool. I've never seen that in the trailer. I thought someone was going to get killed in it. No one does. But like, I thought when I looked at the trailer, I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. I kind of want to see what they do with that. So yeah, that's pretty tense. They have to keep like dodging, and there's one part where like it almost hits her, and she uses like
that was my favorite part.
She uses the gun to repel her down.
Yeah, push her down. That was cool. That was a good idea.
Then there's the fun. I thought the elevator scene was cool too, where they're flying and the alien comes after them. And then so the aliens are attacking her, especially the one with the crack in his head for some reason, who again is supposed to be important, but we don't know. Yeah. He just seems
big
like
crackhead.
Huh?
Big crackhead.
He was a big crackhead. God damn you, Priscilla. I wonder if that's his name. Because Alien vs. Predator, they all called that one Grid Alien. Let me look up. I'm going to type in Crackhead Alien Romulus.
Yeah, do it.
Crackhead.
Maybe I'll go that gravity joke.
Well, if it has a name, it's not Crackhead. I'm sorry.
Well, that's disappointing.
We can call it Crackhead. How about that? We'll call him Crackhead.
Sounds good. Crackhead.
So I thought this was cool, where the Andy is like holding the elevator up and he waits till she's okay and drops it on all of them.
Yeah.
But then he attacks the crackhead, and then so they did a couple old lines from the original. Like, what's his face? Ian Holmes' character says his like, "I can't lie to you about your chances, but you have my sympathies." That was a line. What did you think of Andy doing the "get away from her, you bitch" line that Ripley did in Aliens?
I didn't think much of it, honestly.
I thought it was kind of cringe.
Yeah.
Because he's like, "Get away from her," and then he pauses. He's like, "You bitch," and I'm like, why do we do that? That's
I was like, they were like, it's kind of seemed like I don't know what else to say here, so we're just gonna call it a bitch.
I know the Predator movies are pretty bad at constantly referencing lines from the first film. That's how iconic that first film is. Every line in that movie is like a one-liner.
Yeah.
But yeah, Alien really only has "get away from her, you bitch." So that one just came off really weak. But yeah, all the aliens are dead now. They all, whatever aliens are left, float out, and that space station crashes into the rings. And as we know from alien movies, once you kill all the aliens and get in your escape pod, everything is fine. Nope. Turns out that lady should not have taken the black goo. You know, I don't know why we should even bother reviewing the last part of this movie, because I feel like we already did that with Alien Resurrection, because we're literally about to get Alien Resurrection again. The black goo turned her baby into a giant, pale alien man.
Giant.
This
bald. Alien.
Bald. Yeah, okay, that really pissed me off, because, like, again, after Prometheus and Alien Covenant, I'm like, I don't want to see giant, bald, pale guys ever again.
I did think that alien was kind of creepy looking.
I wonder, because a lot of that, I mean, not all of it was practical. He's like growing a tail at one point, but some of it looked practical. There's
was it a female? Because like they showed like a whole frontal shot from head to toe.
It had like a hole.
It had like a hole there. I'm like, whoa, maybe that's a girl.
I don't really know if
maybe
gender
I'm
really
just
matters with
their
the
gender.
Besides the queen, I think they're all kind of genderless except for the queen. But yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know too much. Well, famously, the one from Alien Resurrection had both genitals, and they had to digitally remove them.
Yeah, I remember that.
How could you forget that once you see that picture? You're like, oh, no. But no, I wonder if this is a real actor. You ever see The Conjuring?
I remember the dog. Was it the dog in Alien?
Dog was in Alien 3.
Yeah, with the big balls.
Yeah,
they did not make
the
that
figure had there.
Yeah.
Go back and watch our Alien 3 review, theatrical cut review. There's an actor. You ever see Conjuring 2?
No.
Okay, there is an actor in Hollywood. He's like a really tall, oddly shaped guy. It's really unfortunate looking dude. And it's kind of mean that Hollywood's like, oh, you look weird. Do you want to be a monster? He was literally Dracula last year. And
was he shaped like Gumby?
Huh?
What was he shaped like Gumby?
He does have like a weird thing. I don't know if this is the same actor. I'm wondering if they got like an actor who has the same like condition as him, like the gigantic flatness. Because it looked real enough. Like it looked...
Does it look like one of them real like blow up things that they have out front of stores? And
No, they don't look like that. So I like the idea of this. I just don't like that it looks so humanoid.
Yeah, it does.
But also like I mean, it's a good twist and everything, but we kind of already got this in Alien Resurrection, a big, pale alien baby thing. I don't know why we're retreading the same ground. You know what I would have loved if we found out? This is, in my version of this movie, this is what they're doing, right? Because in Alien 3, they figured out it could come out of a dog or an ox, depending on what version you watch. I would just have them, like, face-hugging other aliens from different planets. Which is what the 90s toy line was, the Hasbro toy line.
Yeah.
It was like gorilla alien, snake alien. But it wouldn't be a real gorilla. It'd be like a space gorilla. And they're like, facehuggers got on a space gorilla. And that's what we got there. So that's what I was hoping when I heard that they were experimenting. Like, oh, you have the normal aliens that come from humans. And then they've been doing all this weird shit. I would love if at the end of this movie, we found out that they experimented with a predator. Fuck it. Why not? Let's go for it. We could have got a real pred alien.
What's a pred alien look like?
It looks like this.
Spooky.
Yes, it's got the predator mandibles and the alien head and the dreadlocks. I can't see you. Can you hear anything I'm saying?
No, can you say it louder?
I can't see you. Can you hear anything I'm saying?
No, louder.
I can't.
It's almost like a silent scream.
Yeah. Silent Scream. That was the name. Oh yeah, we forgot to mention that. We have the signature AMC drink, Silent Scream. Fucking. I'm trying to tweet about it. I'm like, what was the name of that drink? Silent something, and he goes, ah. And I'm like, what? He's like, ah. I'm like, Scream. He's like, there you go. Why didn't you just tell me?
No, that's way more fun.
So they did a Pred Alien in Alien vs. Predator Requiem. But like I said, the movie is so poorly color corrected and dark. You can't even tell when it's on screen half the time.
Yeah, that's so dumb.
Unless you see it's a cool design, but you just can't see it in the actual movie unless you know that it has dreadlocks. I did a commentary track with Casey when we were doing all those commentary tracks, and in the commentary track, I'm like, "There's the Pred alien." She's like, "How do you know? It just looks like bushes." But I would have liked that if they were like, "Oh, by the way, they found this other alien called a predator, I guess." And I thought it would be cool. Instead, they were like, hey, you know those pale white things no one liked? And you remember that weird baby at the end of 4 that only Prison Mike, Tony, and Johanna liked? We're doing that again.
So what would you say? You're very picky on these aliens and how they look. Looking back on every single movie about aliens, from all these aliens to E.T. to whatever it is, Men in Black, whatever. What is your Mount Rushmore of best aliens?
Best aliens. Okay. Traditional H.R. Giger, first ever.
That's your first pick?
Alien, yes.
Okay.
Is it cheating if I say the Alien Queen or no?
No.
Alien Queen is a close second.
Okay.
The Predator. The very first Predator from the first Predator film. And I guess I only got one more because it's Mount Rushmore. What would be my next alien that looks cool? That is my favorite looking alien. Do you have one while I'm thinking of the last one?
I mean, E.T.'s kind of cool. That's why I used him as an example.
E.T. is
Which
cool.
is funny because I turn around and it's the first thing I see.
Oh man, I don't know if this counts. Because the Thing is a shape-shifting alien.
What?
The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, is a shape-shifting alien. Does that count? Because it doesn't really have a set look.
I don't know. I'd have to see it again.
Man, you really got me thinking now. Now I'm thinking of like Star Trek. Yeah, if you factor in Star Wars and Star Trek.
Yeah.
All right, well, if you factor in Star Wars, I like the Rancor from Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
I think
That's your Mount Rushmore.
There you go. It's the
There you
Rancor. That was really, by the way, that was really hard for me to do. I'm like, man, I've seen a lot of movies with aliens in them. I'll probably change my mind like 15 times. I do like the Independence Day aliens with the big suits. Oh, fuck. I got my brain all scrambled. I want to get
point, Tony.
I'm thinking of Species with the sexy lady alien designed by H.R. Giger, but then I have too many H.R. Giger on the list. So anyway, she's got to fight this big pale alien. I think we can all agree that girl was not dressed down enough for the finale. Sigourney Weaver got in tiny underwear and a tight tank top. This girl's got shorts and she's got like a baggy t-shirt. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, just rocking out barefoot and doing all that barefoot.
Yeah. I miss the Sigourney Weaver, although she didn't have much of a butt, as you pointed out in our one episode.
Yeah.
That was the best text I ever got. Did she leave her ass on the other ship?
Yeah. That girl definitely like laughed her ass off or something. That's something hilarious.
Oh, I forget. Apparently they've been digitally CGIing out her bush, but apparently there's a new version of Alien that has the Sigourney Weaver bush back in. We can all sleep soundly tonight.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, all right, yeah, it's the end of the movie. She's gonna dress down. I'm like, sure, it's too baggy. What are you gonna do? So the baby alien hatches out of the mom, like in the cryopod. It eats its own mom, which is gross. This thing is really cool. It's really creepy. Yeah. It's something different for the end of the film. It's making weird sounds. It's got like a weird tongue that is kind of like the alien tongue a little bit.
It was definitely like the alien tongue.
Yeah. And her plan to get, because you always have to blast it out of the airlock somehow. Except for in Alien 3. Alien 3 broke new ground. They're like, hey, let's cover it in lead and then freeze it really quick. They were like, okay, let's, she's like, I'm going to bring it in because they're hauling like some mineral. And she's like, I'll dump the cargo when it's in the cargo bay. But then, she gets stuck in there. It's a real exciting ending. Eventually she dumps it. Everything crashes into the rings. Everyone's happy. Ian Holm dies. He's like, make sure you send those vials to the place. And she goes, no, I'm not going to do that. He's like, oh no, I'm dying. And then we were like, oh wow, they killed that dead guy.
Again.
Seems disrespectful. Yeah, and it just ends with them. They're going to just head to the planet, which the robot is not allowed at, but they're going to do it anyway. Yeah, and that's the end of the film. I thought it was okay.
Fine.
It was fine. It was fine and fun. It didn't change my life. It didn't. Everyone's like, aliens finally saved. I'm like,
I don't think it's definitely going to be like remembered or anything like that.
I might, if I wanted to, I might watch some of the scenes on YouTube. Like, I don't think I'll actually end up owning this because it is, as someone who's watched the 4 films like a million times, it does feel more of the same to me. Even some of the cool newer stuff, I'm like, yeah, well, I wish those newer stuff was packaged in something more fresh instead of just the same old. I might do a commentary track when it hits streaming with Johanna, just so she can share her thoughts on it. But overall, it's just okay. It's not changing. I mean, maybe that's just what the Alien movies needed. Just an okay one, not an infuriating one where God is a white guy, pale spaceman with black blood. That is also 99% our DNA. That was weird. They're like, it has 99% of our DNA. I'm like, that's a 10-foot tall, pale albino who bleeds black. And then Alien Covenant, Michael Fassbender plays the flute with himself because there's two robots, and he's telling the other robot, it's like, look, I'll teach you how to play the flute. And he goes, I'll do the fingering. And then Michael Fassbender makes out with himself. Yeah, weird. They're weird. They're really weird movies.
That's highly weird for you.
This one, not weird so much, is just safe and predictable. Yeah, I'm glad you guys like it. I wish I liked it more. Maybe it'll grow on me over time. I don't know.
Doubt it.
I don't know. Will you ever watch this again?
I will definitely not watch this again. I don't think you will ever like it just because of the fact they brought that guy back and AI'd his face.
That really bothered me. I'm actually more mad about the Prometheus connection.
So, yeah.
I just want to ignore Prometheus. I don't know. Somehow Predator is able to win me back every once in a while. There's a couple duds, but Predator, for the most part, is a solid franchise. Other than the two AVP films and The Predator, so the Predators usually come to Earth to hunt humans, right? Like warriors and soldiers. In The Predator was coming to Earth to get autism. That's not a joke. That's literally the plot of the fourth Predator film.
But why?
Because the predators in that movie, there's a giant predator, and he belongs to a group of predators who steal other aliens' DNA and infuse it with themselves. And they're like, autism is the next step in human evolution. So the predator literally wants autism. Again, I'm not making this up. That's why the newest Predator movie, they're like, we're going to go 500 years in the past with Native Americans so we don't have to address that film.
Good call. Because you just royally screwed off.
Go back and check our What is the Worst Predator movie episode where we go through all of them. But yeah, I mean, I guess this is the safe reboot. Let's see what happens. Are they able to follow this up? The one thing I think I told you afterwards, I couldn't believe they had enough restraint to not do the Queen Alien.
Yeah.
I was really expecting the Queen Alien at the end of this one, but
were you hoping for it, or
midway through the movie when it was just like, okay, now we're doing this, I was kind of like, all right, well, I don't really need to see the Queen Alien in this. We're already recycling a lot of shit. But I mean, it would be cool to see another Queen Alien fight scene. We got one in Alien vs. Predator, but it was stupid. We only ever had that first one, or maybe some franchises only have enough steam for a couple films, and maybe they shouldn't be franchises, Prison Mike. Maybe make comics, make video games. Plenty of good Alien games, Alien vs. Predator games, plenty of good Alien comics. You don't need to make a movie, but Fox wants to make a movie. So yeah, I'm not sure what I want because I'm enjoying what they're doing with Predator. This is just okay. I just want an Alien vs. Predator movie. One good one.
Maybe one day, Tony.
One day. Well, apparently Disney is sitting on an anime Alien vs. Predator, and they're just not releasing it.
They probably threw that right in the trash.
They probably did. Now they're holding on to that for later.
Hold on.
That was either a tax write-off.
Yeah, huh? They're waiting for the right time.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, it's doing well, this film. I think it's doing better than the last one, so we're probably going to get more. I hope it's not so much of a tribute to previous film. I hope like Fede Alvarez really gets to experiment. Like his Evil Dead movie was kind of like the original Evil Dead, but different enough that it felt fresh. That's kind of what I was hoping for this, but not enough. But yeah, that is it from us.
We'll see what the fans think.
Let us know what you think. Should me and Prison Mike be in an Alien film? Let me know. Do you want to see Alien Prison Mike ship? Can someone make fan art of a poster called Alien Prison Mike?
Up to you.
With our Prison Mike, not the Michael Scott Prison Mike. I think another thing that's really making me sour on this is I've really been enjoying the Quiet Place films. So I feel like I'm getting like newer alien looking movies that are fun and exciting and fresh. So to revisit, just a retread, I'm like,
Yeah, I gotta see the second and third one.
they're good. They're really good.
Check them out.
Every issue I had with the first one has been addressed in the second and third one, and now it makes me appreciate the first one
What
more.
were those?
Huh?
What were those issues?
I was like, wait, how did I didn't realize how many there were in the first movie. I'm like, are there only a handful of aliens? And then I'm like, wait a minute, if I know they're armored, but there are weapons that are strong enough to pierce them. How did they take over the Earth so fast? There's that. And then I'm like, they're always killing things. What are they eating? They've addressed that. So yeah, each film, they explain a little bit more of those aliens without over explaining.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot of mystery. We don't know who sent them. We don't know if they sent themselves, but yeah, they're fun. So again, I think I shouldn't have seen Quiet Place Day 1 before I saw it. Or what was the other one I saw? I saw that stupid one with the fairies, the Watchers. So that was another movie with weird, tall, lanky monsters chasing people. I'm like, I kind of saw too many movies like this before I saw this.
Yeah.
And, that's right. I rewatched Alien. I forgot I rewatched Alien the other night. I'm like, it's a really good movie. But that is it for me. Please like, share, subscribe. Not too long ago, I did a commentary track for the first Alien. I have commentary tracks for every Predator film. We've never done a commentary track, Prison Mike.
No, we should definitely do it.
You know what? I still need to do a commentary track for the Alien movies, besides the first one. Maybe I'll show you the assembly cut of Alien 3. I could show you the good version of that movie.
Okay.
Do you guys want a commentary?
No more Home Alone, please.
No more Home Alone? You don't want to do any?
The first two, yeah, we can. I have a lot to comment on.
Go back and watch
but definitely not the third, fourth, fifth, or sixth.
Go back and watch our
sixth.
What is the Worst? Hey, that's the only non-alien movie.
I know. You always get me to review these sci-fi movies, and they're my least favorite movies.
I'm like, don't worry, Dad.
And then you're like, Home Alone. I'm like, yeah.
That was the worst. I'm like,
but then
Dad,
you're I need 3, 4, 5, and 6. What?
Remember, that was the fans' fault. We said, do you want us to do the first one or all of them? And they voted all of them. So we reviewed every Home Alone at once.
Bozos.
What if Macaulay Culkin's in the next Alien movie?
He used to look like an alien. He's still much better now.
He's a handsome man. How dare you?
He's very handsome now.
All right, like, share, subscribe, book me on Cameo, become a patron, and I guess Boys Month is officially done now. I extended it a week. I'm sorry we had a woman call in earlier. I apologize for that.
Unreal.
And I guess this Thursday, the Broads are back. Come back for my Human Centipede 2 review with Lauren Soda. Check that out. It's going to be a fun time. I had to let them back at some point. I wish it could be Boys Month all year long.
I think it is.
It should be Boys Decade. That's what we really need. All right, that's it for us. Goodbye.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.